so kind to stand for our pledge and prayer. Mr. Russell.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us to this table to do the city business. I ask that you be with us and give us clear mind and clear judgment as we move to push this city forward. I ask that you be with our employees both inside and out, keep them safe and well from sickness. All these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item number C is approval of the agenda. Before we approve it, we need to add an agenda item number 4 for a quote.
Oswald, an offer on the Oswald property, the
Oswald.
Davidson spray field.
Okay. We can do that. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor by signifying by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll go to the first agenda item, which is resolution number 25-41.
Mayor and Council, resolution number 25-41, an FDLE JAG-B grant. This resolution will approve the submission of an application to the State of Florida Department of Law Enforcement for the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Direct, JAG-D, for the purchase of UTM 9mm UTX red training rounds up to the amount of $1,360. This will provide law enforcement with further resources in force-on-force scenarios, including close quarters battle, use of drills, and role-player interactions, mimicking real-world encounters. This investment fosters confidence, sharpens decision-making, and prepares officers for high-stress situations while prioritizing safety and environmental responsibility. This grant application is due the 31st.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved second. Any discussion? Not all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Second agenda item, resolution number 25-42.
Mayor and Council, resolution number 25-42, subordination agreement. This resolution will approve a subordination agreement between the Chipley Redevelopment Agency and J Corp LLC for the property located at 1265 Church Avenue, Chipley, Florida. Attorney Jordan can speak more on this item.
Okay.
So we brought this before the CRA board initially for recommendation, including an ambassador capacity. They approved unanimously to recommend that the city council agree to subordinate our, what we call now restricted covenants, for the CRA grants, to allow further development on the property. So we are getting additional funding for improvements.
Any further questions from council? Do I have a motion to approve?
I so move.
Second.
Moved second. Call for discussion. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 3, resolution number 25-43.
Mayor and Council, resolution number 25-43, Community Planning Technical Assistance CPTA Grant Program. This is one of the grants that Mr. David Melvin had brought up at our meeting last month that had just opened up. And our planner reached out because I had mentioned to them about us wanting to get our comp plan updated. So she reached out and said that they will write the grant for us, and obviously there are planners, so they would prepare the application and then submit it, and then if funded, would do the work for us to do our comp plan amendment. And it would be an entire comp plan amendment. The last time in 2017, we only updated the flume map and the capital improvements element of the comp plan, and the entire thing needs to be updated. So hopefully, I'm hopeful that we can get funded and get that taken care of. And we will focus on, in the application, we will focus on economic development aspect as well as land use aspect of the comp plan in order to hopefully get it approved.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved second. Call for discussion. Any discussion? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The final agenda item, number 4.
This is the Oswald property offer that we received from Cindy Burge this afternoon.
Okay.
And Attorney Jordan can go over that. We
So,
hope.
we just got this. Perusing this, since we've been meeting, the proposed purchase price is $280,000 with a $2,000 escrow that we submitted to Canada Land Title and Bonifay. That is not for town company to work with. There's no financing conditions to the cash offer. They're asking for a 30-day due diligence period to have inspections done, which considering that particular parcel, that's not unreasonable. You might expect them to ask for an extension even on that one, just with some of the history on the property. But otherwise, closing costs are standard. Recording fees on any documents that are needed to cure title. I'm not aware of any title issues that we have with the property. We would be paying for a title search and probably the premium on that title policy. And that's a standard condition for this area. Nothing strikes me as unusual or not worth considering. The question for you all to consider is that offer in light of the appraisal, which I think is
Like around 346, I believe.
That's
if
what I
remember
thought, I
correctly.
couldn't remember, it was way over.
and it is, I think, about a year old.
The appraisal is less than a year old. It was just at the end of last year, so.
And you said 280,000?
280
The appraisal was.
Yeah,
And it's cash.
is cash.
346.
How many acres is out there?
Around 81, I believe. Now, keep in mind that those funds, anything that we receive under
Right.
the amount that was dispersed by the SRF program with DEP will be returned to DEP, and it will go against our current loan that we have with them. It will not be city funds unless we are able to take in more than 300, it was approximately 340,000. And I apologize, but because it came so late, I didn't know we were going to add it on, so I didn't have all that information ready, but it was around 340,000 that DEP gave us for that property.
It's a lot less.
So this is the first offer we've been given?
Yeah, it hadn't been out there.
How long has it been on the market?
Oh, just since
It
the
hasn't
day
been
after
long,
last month's
last
meeting.
month,
yeah.
And now,
Or the beginning of this month's
we
meeting,
did
rather.
put in the contract with Elite that all offers had to have a much more extended period of time for acceptance. This one, of course, this came from the buyer's agent. They're down in DeBerry, Florida. I don't know.
Dewberry?
Dewberry, yeah.
D-E,
Dewberry,
capital B-A-R-Y.
Dewberry, yeah.
That's where they are. But they have an acceptance date of 7/31, which is why we just went ahead and added that to this meeting, so that there's no question that we presented it to you all. If you want to consider it, if you want to counter with some additional time, you want to counter with some additional terms, you want to counter with another number.
Well, I'm not comfortable with anything that far below the appraisal pay.
I'm not either.
I'm not gonna jump
And that
out on
would
the
be-
first
And
one.
this would be with us paying all the closing costs and all that stuff too?
The title search.
So
Title search and all that?
the closing fee typically in this area is split between the parties.
Mhm.
We are exempt from documentary stamps, but the buyer's not. So, I don't know off the top of my head, what that would cost, would it be $200?
Could go back to them with 300,000.
Hmm? Well, higher than that. It's 346 was the appraisal.
I thought she said 340.
It was
346.
around 345 or 346, somewhere around there.
I don't know why we would go under the appraisal at this point. Market hasn't gone that far down, has it?
The commercial market is interesting right now.
What do you mean?
I mean, you've got somebody in your audience today that's got some insight into the commercial market, but, there's, I mean, when you're right along Main Street, there are some really prime commercial properties that have been on the market for a long time. And this doesn't really fall into our, it's technically in the commercial realm, but, doesn't typically fall into, I don't know what kind of development might be anticipated out there. What's the list? I don't know.
They listed it, I believe she listed it at the appraisal price.
346.
346.
That's pretty close.
66.
I mean, if I were to.
60,000.
Yes, it's for a set of laws,
66,000
what
last year.
and plan for this is, it's gonna be to build housing on.
But that's not gonna benefit us because it's outside the city limits. We're not gonna get the tax revenue off of that or any of that, so.
Well, what would you want to counteract it with? She can give
The
them,
appraised value.
oh, okay. Well, they know what their appraised value was.
Well, they know what the listing value is. I don't know that there would have been discussion that there's an appraisal down there.
Did we not list it for 346?
I believe Cindy said that she listed it, but I haven't looked it up myself, but I believe she said she listed it at,
Can you look
based
it
on
up?
our conversation earlier this month after the council approved her agreement.
I mean, are we saying pretty much it has to be either at the 346 or very close to it? 66,000 is a big gap.
I mean,
It's a big gap.
I guess the other thing, which I didn't know until just a few minutes ago, is that anything under something, you're basically going to be bringing cash to close.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the SRF money that's involved.
Just at the point that we receive our funds from it, anything below the approximately 340 that we originally paid will go back to DEP against our loan. The city will not be able to keep the funds unless we're able to sell it for more than what we received.
And what did we receive from them?
It was approximately $340,000 back in 2005, 2006.
I guarantee if you had it appraised today, it'd be more.
The appraisal was, the appraisal was at the end, toward the end of the year
I
last
think
year.
I don't wanna sell property and we still are paying a bill on property we don't even own it. So that would be my concern with taking this offer, is if we've got to have at least 340,000 to pay it off, to get it break even and we're done with it.
Now, it doesn't pay off the loan from that money. It pays off, because that loan's been paid off, so it pays off the loan we currently have with SRF,
Right.
which is the new
New
spray
spray
field.
field.
Right, so that would.
But
be a
then that's what we
win-win.
need to get,
Right.
so we can pay that off.
I don't think we need to drop it any lower. If anything, 340 is the lowest.
Yeah, I agree.
So my understanding is that we appreciate, thank you for bringing that one to us, but anything below 340, we're not really wanting to entertain it.
It is
It's-
listed at 343.
343? Okay.
Nothing below the list value is where I
Yeah.
do it. Do you need a
Why should we
motion?
list it for the full value?
That may be what the appraised value are. I thought it was around 345, 346, but it may be
343?
Yeah.
So can I play devil's advocate?
Sure.
A lot of times your first offer is pretty close to your best offer. Doesn't mean that it is. But if it's been on the market for over a week and you haven't had any interest, I don't know if you've had calls or not, I'm sure Cindy has.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to counter on this or accept a lower offer, then that means you're willing to let it sit longer. How long are you willing to let it sit?
We've had it for how long? We've had it for years, so.
Yeah, so I'd at least counter it, but.
There was another offer that she mentioned the other day, but after I sent her back the email, it must not have been in writing, because she was just kind of getting an idea of what she needed to do, and it was like 250.
Well,
They're
counter
just
offer
throwing
with these
something-
people,
They're just throwing
340.
something against the
Tell us
wall,
what
see
we
if it
want.
sticks.
Drop it a little less than this.
Maybe go with 325?
They don't make any more land, so.
I don't know. 325.
No,
343 is what we listed it for.
I actually own the land at the end of the street, the other end, and I paid a lot more for it per acre than what is being offered,
that's,
just for the.
Well,
yeah.
it doesn't matter what thing, we can wait it out. We've been patient.
I think counter offer with 340 and see if they'll take it from there.
The worst they can say is no.
Right.
Exactly.
And then
Yeah.
we counter.
Yeah,
They might come back with something.
And they may come back and negotiate, try to,
So do you want to delegate any authority to the county administrator to negotiate?
county administrator.
Yeah.
City, sorry.
Wrong county.
yeah.
To the city administrator to negotiate in the interim, or do you want us to call a special council meeting?
Negotiate to what threshold?
That would be up to council.
Yeah, the threshold is what we have to be comfortable with.
Which is 340, in my opinion.
We can make any delegation contingent on final approval by the council, so, that doesn't mean that anything that she, brings to you is binding on you. This is not an offer that is within the parameter that we asked for, but this is something that we're gonna have to deal with, especially when we're dealing with agents that are not in this area.
Sure.
And I believe that's what we did with the beauty salon property, is we did it, I believe, contingent upon, and then we brought it back to the council for
Sure.
final approval before it was finalized. But, again, if it's 340 or 343, and we don't want to go any lower than that, then there's no negotiation to
Yeah.
even discuss.
Right.
What is the absolute lowest we'll go?
Look at the
I'm
price,
just
saying-
343.
What about
340.
by next week? I'm just saying, what, at all costs, at the end of the day, what is the absolute lowest we'll go, and if we don't get that, we're not selling it at all.
So
340.
I think that is going to be a TBD amount. I think it's gonna take some engagement in due diligence by a prospective purchaser and us getting whatever they're gonna do, environmental, topographical,
Yeah.
survey on this. And we know there were some issues on this property, so that may ultimately make more reflected in the appraisal, and maybe something that any purchaser's gonna have to deal with. I don't know, how long has it been since we operated this break from out there?
At least 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
I mean, those issues are public, it is what it is.
It is.
But there was nothing, we actually had a realtor a while back that actually checked with DEP. Obviously, there would have to be environmentals done, so that's gonna cost them money, and that may be why they are going lower. But there was nothing, against the property. So they don't look for there to be any issues, but they still have to do those environmentals, especially if they're going to build houses out there. So.
Like I said, they don't make any more land.
No, but we don't want it to set and set and set and set either.
Because we have to maintain it.
That's it. Do we have, I mean, there was a couple of things that were said as far as threshold, 343 is what we have it listed for. Are we willing to go any lower than 343 is, I guess, is the bigger piece here. Hearing all the information that was shared from our guests that's in the audience, from our attorney.
I'm not.
I'd say 325.
Is there a way of knowing about what that would cost to do that environmental thing? Like, we could get a ballpark figure. or anything.
Somebody's
It's
gonna have to
expensive.
hire an environmentalist, I'm sure, that can.
It's
I
expensive.
think
It's
there was a
expensive.
range that we could kind of gauge, this is possibly what it could cost a piece of property that size with what we're having to look at.
But with that property, with that size, they're gonna make a lot of money off of it when they, that's the
Depends
thing.
on what level of depth they're doing. If they're gonna do like a phase one soil test, you
Mhm.
might pay $5,000. If they want those two or further investigation, you pay $25,000 or $40,000 more. But here's the thing, if you guys counter and they start due diligence has other things, in that due diligence period, they could come back to you and say, hey, this is what we found, and it's gonna require us to do more due diligence. Can we renegotiate, or can we, they might back out at that point.
Yeah.
Countering today doesn't stop you from having a discussion later on.
That's a good point.
They offer 280.
Yep.
So do we counter with 320?
I would.
Somewhere.
I would.
325 is what I wrote down, but I don't know. It's gonna be high.
Because even if they agree that, we can still say no.
They're not the only people out there that are gonna look at this property to buy it.
I know, but I also don't want to get in the same shape we got in with Dairy did too. We kept sitting around waiting for them to buy it, and they didn't, we got stuck with it.
Well, I know where Cheryl's coming from. We gave away a prime piece of property right here on 90.
Sure did.
We didn't, because we wasn't up here. And they made a killing off of what they stole from us.
So what do we want to do about this one?
But-
Do we
We
want,
say 340.
I said counter at 340
gonna-
and give Patty the negotiation.
to go how much lower is this? What we're trying to figure out that threshold.
Cause they're gonna drop when you say 340.
Because if you're saying we're not taking less than 340, then there's no negotiation. That's,
If we get
Mhm.
300,
there's your
it'd
answer.
be good.
So you
Yeah.
can't say you want to negotiate if we don't give her that to negotiate with.
And if you put on record what your lower limit is, that's gonna be your price.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying 340, but, because if they listen, they'll know exactly what it is. So, like I said, they don't make any more land.
Any other feedback from the council so we can move forward with this one? Or do we need to just, you just need to decide. 343 is the listing price, 280 is the offer. No one feels comfortable with the 280.
Nope,
I'd feel more comfortable with 300.
I'm at 340.
But I would go back to, and I'll tell them we want 340 for it, and then see what they come back to you with.
So you can make a motion to counter with 340, but if the council's not in agreement to go any lower than that, then it would just be a counter of 340, and that would end it, Michelle?
Well, what
Can
do
we
you,
do a percentage? Can we do a percentage under that so we don't always say what that amount is within a range
If it were me, I would just delegate the authority to.
to negotiate?
The administrator to negotiate if your counter isn't accepted.
So
And
if
bring
we
it
do
back
340 with
a-
the
a
understanding that
little
Patty
longer
has the
time
authority
period.
to negotiate from that point,
Sure.
and then just communicate back to the council. And then you negotiate from that point what you feel what would be fair.
But I don't want to do like they did with the motel property.
Well,
Jump at the first one that offered and lose the money. That's,
It was above appraisal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was that. We didn't know.
I wasn't.
we want on here.
How long did they leave that vacant?
yeah, but.
Well,
you
we
turn
weren't
around
trying
and
to
sell
sell it all that time either, that it was sitting vacant.
So, do I have a motion on the table?
Make that motion, Kevin.
My motion that we counter with 340 and then give Patty the authority to negotiate from that point forward.
I'll second it.
Moved second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor by signifying by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that's all we have tonight. Thank you.